Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Schuh, and I have Kathleen Caldwell here today. I'm so excited to have you, Kathleen.
Dr.
Woohoo!
Kelly, I'm so happy to be here. What an
Yay!
exciting new year, 2020. It's awesome.
It is. It is. New visions. New vision, 2020. Perfect vision. So before we get started, everyone, if you're just tuning in, the topic of conversation today is more love equals more success. And Kathleen is going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about this and what this really means. But before we dive in, I want to officially introduce you to this amazing powerhouse of a woman. So Kathleen Caldwell is CEO of Caldwell Consulting Group, LLC, and founder of the Thought Leader Women Institute. She is credentialed and certified leadership coach, professional speaker, and author who has mentored and advised thousands of entrepreneurs, executives, leaders, and business teams around the world to greater success. Mrs. Caldwell is known as a connector and influencer and is excited to bring her alliances and new business strategies from the League, a group of 7-figure earning women CEOs, and the C-Suite Network Thought Council to support women's business and career success. In her spare time, she is a Zumba instructor and a health coach. She's a success hypnotist and has a passion for international travel and ballroom dancing with her sweetheart and husband, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so happy to be here, Kelly. This is great.
So happy to have you here. So let's start out this conversation of mo success, mo love. And what does that mean to you, Kathleen?
Yeah, thank you. Well, we were talking about the new year, the new decade, this new opportunity. And I just had an opportunity to look back on my career, and I realized, like many of the women that are listening in and are probably watching the replay as well, is the times in my life when I've been the most successful and felt the most success. It's when I've been in love with my life and I've had love in my life. Love with a committed partner, my husband, someone in my life that I was really in a really deep, profound relationship. Not easy, but just a great relationship. And looking back on my career, the times that I found in really my life when I found that I was not happy, I was striving, working really hard, felt like I was just kind of going for the next promotion, going for the next deal, and traveling, doing so much and really strategizing in a way that wasn't authentic to me. Those were the times when I didn't experience love in my life. So I was essentially that old proverb, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
looking for my career to do that. Yeah. You can relate too.
Yeah, I remember you and I talking one day about that connection with the independent warrior woman, the successful woman, and being that and knowing what it's like to be so driven outside of your love life, and that can take over. That can become the thing. Even though your heart wants love, you've got and you're passionate. You and I are both very passionate people and being in service. So was there a time where you felt like you wanted that love, but when you really looked at your life, it was all about work?
Oh gosh, what a great question. Absolutely. And I have to say that there was a long period of my life where I just decided that love wasn't for me. I didn't need to be in love. I didn't need to experience love. I was like independent and okay on my own because I had all of the trappings of success, the imported car in the valet garage, the mink coat, the bank account, the title. And at the same time, my bank account did not reflect the bankruptcy, the bankrupt heart that I felt. And the more I was striving, the more the tremendous impact that it had on my health. So at age 39, I went to the emergency room thinking that I was having a heart attack at 39.
At 39.
And
How scary.
39,
How did you drove yourself, you said?
I took a cab.
Oh my gosh.
I lived in downtown Chicago with this magnificent view of Lakeshore Drive. I felt like I had the world on a string. And at the same time, I really did not have love in my life. My job, my career was this substitute for love. And I didn't really see the signs, and I didn't clearly hear the signs of what was happening with my health. And I said, well, I'll take a vacation and I'll slow down after the next quarter or the next milestone in my career or the next promotion. And the fast and irregular heartbeat that I was having ended up on a Sunday morning in January of 1999, where I was experiencing every kind of symptom of having a heart attack. And at that time, I was in great shape. I was running my third marathon. And, I was the striving kind of woman. And, when you're a career woman, why wouldn't you run another marathon, right?
Right.
So, and with no one to call, no one sleeping by the side of my bed with me, no one to call. The only person I could call was my doorman to hail a cab for me to go to the emergency room. Yeah. So, and those are the times, with more love in our life. I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot of self-love either, because I kept kind of attracting the wrong kind of guys. The guys that were interested in the driving woman, the successful woman that was kind of unattainable. So I was attracting a lot of unattainable guys as well. So kind of the mirror of me,
Right.
And so this was a pivotal moment, and I also have to say an awakening when I got to the emergency room, and then once I was stabilized to get into the cardiac intensive care unit with people that are in their 90s. Yeah, and Dr. Kelly, no one to call. I called some friends, but I didn't have a loved one. My family lived in Florida, 1,000 miles away, but to have that main core relationship, it really had eluded me. And so this was a real awakening from the divine to say, you know what, you not only have to slow down, but you've got to reprioritize your life. So because I wasn't doing it for myself, my body and my mind and the universe and something greater than me forced that slow down for me and that reevaluation of my life.
So what did it look like after? So you had the wake up call, and then it's kind of like, what's next? I mean, what happened after that? After you were released, and did you make immediate changes? Like, what happened next?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I had a lot of time because I was in the cardiac intensive care unit for 2 days.
Okay.
Trying to get my blood pressure and my heart rate to stabilize. And so I had some time to really think about, I had a lot of time to think about love, honestly.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had actually, what had started this is that I fell out of love with my career. I fell out of love with the work that I was doing, and that I was essentially looking to get fulfilled in my life and in my heart. As a 39-year-old woman, I was looking to get fulfilled by a job and a career that could never do it. It could never do it. How can a job or career fill you up when you really need to, when I really needed to be fulfilled myself, love myself first, and stop all the striving and looking outside myself to be able to be in a committed relationship. I really didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So once I was released, I started to make the changes that I knew I needed to make. I needed a coach, and I hired a coach, someone whom I really respected, trusted, someone who essentially had what I wanted. She had a great partner, she had a great career, but she didn't sell herself out for for her work and her career. She had the balance that I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I hired this coach, this mentor, this guide, and she helped me. We got in a really, really phenomenal, intense program, and she helped me. And I wish that I had known you then, because I would have hired you, Kelly, to be my coach. And so I started the process to really evaluate, what was it that I loved in life? Where was I the most fulfilled? Where could I take the next part of my life to do work that was meaningful? And, to start to look at, what kind of men was I really attracting? And who was I attracted to? I was attracted to the adrenaline, fun guys,
Yeah.
They weren't great marriage candidates I needed,
Totally.
So it was a process. Yeah, and you can't. That was the kind of work that I couldn't do on my own. I needed a coach and a guide and a mentor to move me through that. To ask the questions and to help me do the evaluation that I didn't want to do. I just was so ingrained with my habits of, because I was going out with certain guys. It was so much fun and a great experience, but those weren't the kind of men that were right for me for my husband.
Yeah.
So, and to say that at that time, that I'm looking for lifelong love. I'm looking for a husband. That was a big, big thing too. Yeah. And so literally within, I would say 6 months to 8 months, everything shifted. I left this high-power tech career, started my own coaching business to work with people in business, really in business, that are looking to bring back the love into their careers. And I met through a friend of a friend, the man who is now my husband. And
so was it a blind date?
It was a blind date. It was
Me
a blind
too.
Date. Yeah, I know. We've got that in common. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he will fully admit he's a pretty boring guy. And I like that about him. But he's got all these qualities, and I say that in a sweet way. You know what I'm saying? That we have a relationship where there's not a lot of drama. There's a lot of love and caring and passion and fun, but I've given up the commitment and the habit of being a drama queen when it comes to romance and love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I got clear, and I had to do that process, with a trusted advisor to help me through that. And it was so easy to find him. It was so easy. It's just great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like 6 to 8 months after your, many would say, near-death experience. I mean, you, for all intended purposes, it was in cardiac intensive care at the age of, you said 38, 39?
Yeah, 39. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. And there's so many women that I really want to, that are listening, that I would say, don't wait for that a life or death experience to realize that the heart is not being wired to, that you really have, that how important love is. And we often don't realize that until we have those huge wake up calls, right? So what would you say to the woman, that is like successful in the way that Americans talk about success? I mean, you had the car, you had the coat, you were flying around the world. And so many women, especially at that age, and I would say 30s into 40s, and they feel like, okay, I'm successful. And when they go home at night, they realize, and my heart isn't fulfilled. So what would you say to that successful on the outside, but love deprived on the inside and feeling all alone?
Yeah, what a nice question. Yes. Well, I think this illusion, and I'm just going to say, I think that there's this fallacy that we can't have it all. And I like to say we can have it all. We can. Yeah. I don't think it has to be an either or conversation, career success or this great relationship. We can have both. We can. And, I spent way too long looking for love in, maybe it'll be the guy who knocks on my door, or he comes across, we're like the movies, like I'm just going to, like, on the sidewalk, just bump into him, or he's going to appear as the pizza delivery guy. no, no, it's not how it works. You know,
Yeah.
I developing a strategy, and part of thinking about our time today is, sometimes our fears, sometimes our worries, sometimes the things that we're preoccupied with as successful women can lead us to looking at like what the opposite of that is. And
Mm,
the opposite of that can lead us into a direction of, if I'm afraid that I'm going to be all alone, or I'm going to be attracting the wrong guy, or whatever I'm afraid of, having the guidance and the coaching to take a pause and to be able to turn it around and say, okay, that doesn't have to be my destiny. What would I like as an opposite of that? And
mm,
trusting that I can have that. I can have that. I deserve to have that. And also, it's the inside work, the inside work of feeling deserving enough. And
yeah.
that's, by having proper guidance and mentorship, to know that my past is not my destiny. My past is
Mm,
not my destiny. And to
mm,
have the courage to say, I do want the courage and the stand to say, I deserve to be in a loving relationship, whatever that looks like, and
yeah.
I deserve to be loved. And I am a person, I'm a woman who is capable of giving love and receiving love. Not
Mm,
just always giving, but receiving love, that
mm,
we're capable of that and we deserve it. That
yeah.
deserving piece, so important.
Yeah. One of the practices that I have women do in my practice is practice receiving. And it can start as simple as receiving compliments. I
Yes,
have
very nice.
so many women who, I mean, appear very they are, they appear on the outside confident and successful. And when you witness someone bestowing a compliment, often what do? Instead of receiving it and really allowing it to land, they do this. They
Yeah,
push the
yes.
mirror back and not even allow themselves. So it's like that, I think, is a very simple practice. As women, we're so often so great at giving, 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 and
Right, right.
and becoming depleted. And so I think one of
Yeah,
the ways to start to receive that love that and every woman who's listening here, you all deserve it. You deserve the abundance that you're putting out there. And so practicing receiving is so important, I think, in this love journey.
absolutely. Absolutely. And because I think if we're always giving, we're training the people in our life, and we're training the man that's out there waiting for us, the partner that's out there waiting for us. We're training them into perhaps not doing so much for us. If we're
Yeah.
always giving and doing, so, that kind of, it's, a philosophy of giving to yourself first,
Yeah.
and also asking more for what you need. And I was not a good person to do that. I really didn't ask, because honestly, I don't know that I really knew at that time. I didn't really know. My standards, I thought my standards were really high, but having some clear strategies around having more love in your life is similar to the strategies, and that's to having a successful career. But it's the stakes are higher, I think. The stakes are
Yeah.
so much higher, with love. And I think it's also making it a priority. You know,
That's big.
my main priority for a long time was having the ROI for my career. And I now know that if I had the same priority for a return on investment with love in my life, I would
Mm,
have seen that ROI skyrocket. So
mm,
it's prioritizing it, Dr. Kelly. It really is prioritizing it.
it is.
And
Absolutely.
yeah, and
Yeah.
having experts and a community around us that's we're all walking in the same direction. If we're surrounding ourselves with party girls that want to go out and are attracting the wrong kind of guys, well, no wonder perhaps we're not attracting that deep love. But getting sisters around us that are walking in the same direction is so critical too.
Yeah. I hear so many women share that they're at the point in their life, and often it is kind of the 30s into the
Yeah.
40s, women who have been really career driven and
Yeah.
have always wanted to start a family. And these women are getting older and they're present to, hey, my eggs are probably getting old. Like, I don't want to have to freeze them. And so I share with these women that let's put love as a priority. And so if you're listening and you're maybe even a little bit younger, making that time, I mean, to make it now. And what's so beautiful, as you said earlier, you can have the career and the love, and this love amplifies it all, right? And it all kind of falls into place. It's amazing. It's amazing, but it does require us to put some energy and focus in that area of our life.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, you know, you bring up such a beautiful point. I mean, I'll just be real here, continue to be real. You know, I put my career first, and, you know, I don't have kids. And that's something that, you know, I look back and say, wow, you know, if I had been in a relationship early on that was really supportive and loving, and honestly been a bit more strategic, as strategic about my love life as I was about my career, you know, perhaps a family would have been in the cards for me. And so your guidance to younger women, Dr. Kelly, is just fabulous, because this is something that, you know, we're not really mentored and guided to look at. We're mentored and guided and coached up around our careers. However, you know, to be mentored and coached up around our love career, so to speak, it doesn't have to conflict with our business career. Our love career is so important, because that's the most enduring part of our entire life, having more love in our life.
Yeah.
And, you know, as you know, when you have a stable home, you have an abundance of support and guidance and unconditional love. I'm here to tell you it's absolutely possible. Yeah. And when you've got that, that's the greatest springboard, you know, to have a successful career, have a successful business. And, you know, we need that. And, you know, the guy may come in a package that looks a little different than what we think about, but, you know, thinking about, you know, the elements, the essence, who it is that we really want in our life, who really benefits us and we benefit them. That's the key. And sometimes we're just too close to do it on our own. We really can.
I couldn't agree more.
We need some help.
Yeah. If you're listening, give us some hearts. Give Kathleen some hearts. Like, she is giving us so much great content and just inspiration. I absolutely love it. Yeah. You know, I think about my journey and finding my love, my sweetheart, my husband. And I will say, I mean, thank God that it all moved really fast for me once I had a turnaround and I invested in a relationship coach. Like, so I think I was maybe 33, 34 at the time, something like that. And so I was starting to get to that point. I mean, I never thought that it was too late, but I was starting to think, oh, I need some support here. I really do. And I lucked out in the sense that I had done a lot of work up to that point, but hiring that coach and having them kind of really have me work through the stuff that we can only work with so much on our own. And so by hiring and investing in myself in that way, it just, I believe, really made my dreams exponential in their ability to it started happening for me. And had I done it all on my own, honestly, I don't know that I'd be standing here married with a baby. She's not a baby anymore. She's 9. But I just think of the timing of everything, and I'm just so grateful that I saw that I needed help. And I still am practicing asking for help. And I know there's probably a lot of ladies listening that can relate to that. And so my willingness to ask for help and to invest in myself and allowing someone and being vulnerable enough to receive the coaching, because you absolutely can do that coaching too. You can sign up and then not engage and sit back, right? Think that the coach is going to do it for you. Right.
Well, and I look back and I think about all the hours, all of the dates I went on through online services. I mean, I joke and think I'd love to someday write a book about my experiences. And, you know, and the listeners too, we've all got these stories that are just unbelievable about our dating experiences. And, to have, I realized in hindsight that I wasn't really ready, and so, I think, again, having a strategy, working with someone who's an expert on this, we do it in a heartbeat, to increase our revenue or our profitability or effectiveness and productivity on our job. If we were having an issue with our careers and our jobs or our business, we get help. Well, we got to do the same thing with our love life, right?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know that when you had reached that pinnacle of success for what so many Americans identify as success, that you didn't make it on your own, that you invested in yourself, like that didn't happen, right? By just sitting back and waiting, right? And so there's a lot of metaphor there of what is a woman who, by all means, might consider herself successful, and look and go, well, how did you get there? And there's probably some similarities to what will get you there in your love life. A lot of similarities, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I love what you just said. There are a lot of similarities. However, as also to think about, I had to, with the great guidance that I had to also drop a lot of the things that I thought would be working, that if I applied the same strategies in my love life, yes, I had to have, philosophy. I had to have a purpose and a mission and a vision and all that, of course. But the tactics, so to speak, I remember they're different. They're really different, because I remember my philosophy was that, okay, with these online dating, I'm just going to go shopping. I'm just going to go shopping and start looking. Well, shopping for a partner, okay, that, I don't know that my ideal guy would be interested in being purchased or being, being shopped for, so I think there are a lot of things that do translate, but, I think also looking at what has worked in the past or what has not worked in the past, it's time for a pivot. And I think with 2020, it is time for a pivot. It's time for a change. It's time to really not waste another moment having love in your life, not waste another moment, and even waste a moment that could lead you to even having a health crisis like I did. The cost is too high. The cost is way too high. Or waiting, if you're really committed to having a family, waiting until, it might be too late to have that happen,
Yeah.
Or putting things in the wrong priority. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Hey, I think the time is now.
It is.
The time is now. It is now.
It's now. It's not now. When? Right?
Right, exactly.
2020. Yeah. I'm still in amazement as the new year was coming around, and my husband reflected to me. He said, do you realize 10 years ago, Maddie wasn't in our life? You were pregnant with her, but there was this whole being that you wasn't even in our lives. And then what we did, it was very cool. We looked back in our own lives in decades and looking how fast time goes by. And all we have is this moment. That's all we have. We don't know what tomorrow holds or the next day. And as you said, don't wait for the crisis. Choose love now. And if you like that, if you like this idea of choose love now, in the comments, just right now. Right now.
Yes.
It's right
absolutely. Now. And Dr. Kelly, I would also like to, you didn't ask me to do this. I'm just doing it on my own. I'm delighted to be a facilitator at your upcoming event in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah. And I'm going to read this because I just want to make sure I get this perfect here. It is Magnetize Your Man in 2020. Magnetize your man. Oh my gosh, bring that love into your life this year, right now. And I'm delighted to be a facilitator to help you and support you in this tremendous event on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, January 17th, 18th, and 19th, 2020 at the Deary Center in Boulder, Colorado. And I'm just like an unabashed stand that women do whatever they need to do to get to fly to Denver and take public transportation is very, very simple. Come to the Dairy Center and be part of this event. You know, women will do anything to support their successful careers. They'll fly, they'll do whatever, they'll expend all kinds of whatever they need to. They will move heaven and earth in their careers. And women will move heaven and earth for their friends. So I'm saying move heaven and earth, get to Denver and Boulder, Colorado. Make this a commitment that I'm worth having love in my life in 2020. This is worth, I want to magnetize my man. I want to be the right woman that has it all. This is the year. This is now. So come join us. It's going to be an amazing event, an absolutely incredible event. Now, I have magnetized my man, and I'm committed to continuing to magnetize my man in 2020. So I want to continue to draw Michael in and me draw to him. So these are strategies that are important for single women, but I'm there as a married woman because I want to learn new things from you, Dr. Kelly.
Oh, thank you. So excited. We're so excited to have you. And if you're listening, Kathleen's going to be there also. If coaching women through the stuff that's going to come up in the room. So it's not just me. We're going to have a team there to support you. So what a gift. Like, we've made it so it's a no-brainer. You can get to Denver and participate in a partial scholarship for $97, 3 days. You pluck yourself up from where. All right, I'm not here. Give me a minute here.
Yeah. Dr. Kelly, you're so magnetic that it may have just, like the internet says, oh.
It's saying to reconnect. Okay, there. I think it's back on, but I'm having reverb and this is. I've no idea what's happening. So, what I was going to say, we're
incomplete, right?
What's that?
No, I was going to say maybe this is the universe telling us we've said it. We've said enough. Come to the event.
Yeah. It's time. It's your time for love. There's never a now moment like this again. So choose love now. Love is your destiny. I'm Dr. Kelly Martin Schuh, Amazon bestselling author, transformational coach for women, and we're so grateful, Kathleen, that you could join us today. Come to Boulder and meet us both in person. Let's give you a big hug. So, signing off.
Love you. Bye-bye.